Third Way Collective is great because it is a hub for organizing for peace, justice, and faith-based community.
And we just really appreciate how visible they seem to have been.
It provides a refreshing mix between the political groups on campus and the religious groups on campus.
I kept seeing him showing up in the same places where I was showing up. And I was like, who is this guy who's committed to the work of justice at this critical time and moment, not only in our nation, but in particular here on this campus?
It's a bridge between the religious community and the kind of progressive activism community.
What Christ taught. It's what he lived and what he died for and what he was teaching over and over and over again.
Seeking to bring together the State College community in a way that values and celebrates the diverse community that we hope to live in.
That was typically one of the first groups that came up whenever I was in a space where we were talking about collaborating.
I really love to watch how Ben interacts with the students that he works with, how he not only engages them in important conversations and gives them an opportunity to explore what they value, what they're struggling with, what they believe in, and how their faith relates to all that, but how he also equips them.
Doing things that extend not just to whatever local Christian culture bubble that we have, but are also involved in the wider community.
Third Way Collective has done a really good job of bringing in speakers that maybe have trans or non-binary identities, who also are particularly aligned within their faith, or just other queer aspects of things.
We have students coming together and doing activism and doing work, but then also being connected to people in the community that are interested in that same work.
I like knowing that there are people there who are of Christian spirituality that are looking out for basically corporate injustice.
It brings people of disparate faiths together to really talk and lay the groundwork for all of us to take better action for a more just and dignified life.
They haven't been around that long as compared to some of the other groups we have here. They also don't seem to have been as large in the past as some of the other groups we have here.
We need resources to survive. We really depend a lot on, in campus ministry, we depend a lot on a staff member to do it all.
Love, compassion, service, surrender.
That it would be a source of inspiration, a source of love, a source of sort of intentional community, and a really big university that's home to a lot of people that are doing their own searching and looking for, a spiritual family.
Christian bubbles will forget about these other kind of social justice issues and kind of tend to keep to themselves, and Ben does this wonderful job in the Third Way Collective of kind of drawing Christians out of that and trying to bring them out into the world.
A lot of folks within the LGBTQ community have had negative experiences with different faith and spirituality, and so therefore it's sometimes really hard to find that connection that if you align with a faith or some sort of spirituality, it can be really hard to find that resource of where a church or a place of worship might be that is affirming.
I think this legacy that Third Way Collective leaves behind is so important, especially now at a time of division, at a time when people are influenced by fear, when there are groups even within the Penn State and State College communities that are encouraging racism and sexism and homophobia.
I knew the role and importance of not only faith in the work of justice, but really the power of presence. And that's what I really appreciated about Ben and about what I saw a part of the work of the Third Way Collective to be a presence, a consistent presence, a moral presence, a spiritual presence for students who are navigating things that were very uncomfortable and yet they were very real.
I'd like to see Third Way Collective remain a vibrant and sort of an agile part of our community.
In general, Third Way Collective has been a presence for students and for offices around to be able to be a good connection point for them.
I see them consistently in spaces where the work just needs to be done. And that's what I hope they'll be able to continue to do.
welcoming your neighbor no matter where you're from, no matter who you love, no matter what you believe in. And that involves a lot of other work in order to make people feel welcome, in order to really make everyone at Penn State a potential neighbor.
It's impossible for us to be able to program to every identity, so if there's other groups that are able to do some of those speakers or panels or workshops or something like that, a place where our students of faith within our LGBTQ community can also find that place of belonging, I think that should definitely continue.
Advocating for change and positive change.
The truth of it, the call to love, and keeping grounded in that, and still the actions hopefully that come from that in the world, the example, the presence. And I think Third Way Collective, I'm just so grateful that it's here.
Third Way Collective is the type of group that can appeal to a large variety of people.
In order for something like this to continue to exist, they do need support and funding.
Ben is somebody who has the largest congregation that extends outside of a Christian bubble.
There's really no other place for LGBTQ folks who also identify within a faith community to have that.
Support things and support people and support organizations that are doing the work so that they can actually do the work that we know the world needs.
Who are living as Christ lived.
Donate and contribute as you're able to Third Way Collective. It's a really important ministry.
Trust that, we are educating ourselves and finding good things to support as well.
It makes our area better, and by making our area better, we make the world a much better place to live in.
I wish that something like this had existed when I was in college here at Penn State, and so the fact that UMC is supporting this just made me really want to be a part of that community.
Give, support Third Way Collective, because it's amazing.